What's up, good people? Welcome into Montgomery and Company. I'm Renee Montgomery. So listen, we have a legend in the building today. We have a legend. If you don't know, you about to know, because I get down and talk with Misty Copeland. Yes, Misty Copeland, that Misty Copeland. I'm going to tell you all about the Misty Copeland that's coming on. Misty Copeland. Oh my goodness. I'm hyped because, we got to recognize when excellence is right in front of us, give people their flowers in real time, and that's exactly who Misty Copeland is. She's a legend living amongst us. We also, as a crew, are going to talk about Thanksgiving. Is it canceled or not? I don't know. The holiday, just to me, it's just like food and football. We're going to get into it. Let's go! Happy holidays, everybody. From me to yours, from mine to yours, from my family to your family, from Moko to Yoko. Listen, I'm just saying happy holidays because this is the holiday that, if nothing else, we need to just be giving thanks, be grateful. I got it tatted, blessed and grateful. I got it tatted as a reminder, just always to stay grateful and know that you're blessed. Even when you don't feel like you're in a blessing, you're blessed. So this holiday, I just was thinking about, all right, what are the vibes of Thanksgiving and what am I thankful for? And so I think about, first of all, why is the year almost over already? Why is it almost 2024? I know, they say this all the time, but it's like time is rolling. So first I think about health. My family's healthy. We made it to another year. Moko, listen, Moko, we're going to drop some Moko milestones soon because I'm thankful for y'all is what I'm trying to get to. I'm thankful for our fans, man, because Remotely Renee started out during the pandemic as a way for me and my family to connect. We all live in different places and it was a scary time and we just wanted to make sure that we were communicating on a regular basis. So we got on Zoom and we talked to each other and we just talked about our week, our thoughts, our feelings, all of that. That's all we did on that Zoom. And so then after the pandemic, after everything opened up and our family started going about their almost normal lives, as normal as it could be at that time. Well, we wanted to still connect a little bit while being remote. And that's why we called it Remotely Renee. And it was, Snook, Cole, VP, which is Paul Garino, who is our producer still on this show. We just set out to just all right, let's talk about what's going on in sports, culture, and entertainment. Let's just cover it from our point of views. We're multi-generational. We've lived a lot of lives. Even me, I'm 36, but when you play overseas and you're submerged in other cultures, I've lived in Israel, I've lived in Australia, I've lived in Russia, I've lived in Turkey, I've lived in France. I didn't just visit those places. I've been submerged in their cultures. So you start to learn a lot of things when you see how other people are living around the world. And so it's just us all coming together with our thoughts. And then a year later, after launching Remotely Renee, we rebrand, we get picked up by the Lebitard show, the Lebitard network. So shouts to Dan Lebitard too. I'm thankful for Dan because Dan saw the vision of, a lot of people don't give a platform to voices that look like ours. A lot of people don't even want to hear from our voices sometimes. So for Dan Lebitard specifically and the Lebitard Network, Meadowlark Media, all the people over there, man, when we started to link up and we started to just build things, Montgomery and Co. came to life. Shouts to everybody that works on this show. It's just all of those people make this what it is. To put on a show every week, this is episode 81. And to put on a show every week, it's tough. There's a reason why a lot of podcasts, after a certain amount of episodes, you see it just kind of stops because it's hard. It takes dedication. You have to want to do it. And you have to want to do it well. For me, it's sports, I'm a sports playing everything. I'm not going to do anything if I can't do it well. So every week, my team knows we're challenging ourselves. How can we do better? How can we switch it up? How can we change this up? What can we do? And so I just feel like that's what I'm thankful for. So I'm thankful for having a platform that I can say my thoughts and speak my piece and do it unfiltered. Because when you have a platform, you can say what you want. Right now, I can say anything. I can say anything right now. And guess what? it would go to an audience, a large audience at that. And so that's why I'm thankful for y'all, because y'all keep us going, man. If nobody was listening, or nobody cared, it would be hard to keep going. If nobody was paying attention, it is hard to keep going. But if you are somebody that doesn't have a lot of people listening yet, keep going if this is your passion. But having said all of that, I'm done. Okay, it's the holidays. We all get a little sappy on the holidays, but I'm thankful for y'all this holiday. You know, when we're getting close to, you guys know every year, this is when we shut down. We start to shut down after my birthday is on December 2nd. And that's usually whatever Thursday falls around my birthday. That's usually our last episode of the year. And we shut down for the holidays. But I just wanted to make sure that I let y'all know, like, I appreciate y'all rocking with us. There's a lot of places you could be. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. All right. And coming up next, we have the legend, Misty Copeland, who has the honor and distinction of being the first Black female principal dancer with the American Ballet Theatre. Unreal. So first of all, what's up with it, Misty? I'm hyped. Thank you for joining me here on Montgomery & Co.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
No, of course. So first of all, it's an honor. Like Roy, you guys didn't hear before, but Roy, one of our senior producers, literally told Misty congrats on all of her success. And I feel like that's how we just need to, this is how we need to greet you, because you have the distinction of being the first Black female principal dancer with the American Ballet Theatre. Like, I want to just start there. First of all, I know, like any other athlete, you had to have put in your 10,000 hours. So, like, what does achieving something like that mean? Like, I know them hours.
Yeah. No, I mean, it means a lot, first of all, just to speak to people who understand the journey, you know, like as an athlete, and you know, being in this position, being able to educate people in terms of what ballet is, and that it is extremely athletic, and you know, takes so much commitment and dedication. And then on top of it, being, you know, a minority, being Black and being in this field is rare, and it's extremely difficult. You know, this was an art form that was created for white European people, and was not made for us to, you know, exist in and to succeed in. And so, you know, it's been a long journey, and you know, I feel like I'm doing this for so many that were not given the opportunity and did not have the access like I have had. And so, you know, it's taken me years to really accept that this is me it's happening to, though, you know, it feels like it's just been generations and generations of Black and brown women who have opened these doors slowly for me to get to this place.
Man, no, but that's powerful to hear you saying that. And so you say like the access that you have had. And so how did you get into ballet? Because it's not like something that you do at school. Like, I don't, you know, there's track, there's basketball, football. Like, how did you get into the other side on ballet?
Yeah. So, you know, it started with, I guess, you know, with sports coming from my mom. I was born in Kansas City, Missouri. My mom grew up dancing, and just she was obsessed with sports, and specifically
so y'all
football.
Chiefs fans? Are y'all Chiefs fans?
My mom is diehard. I mean, my mama's got a tattoo of the freaking arrowhead like on her arm. She was a professional cheerleader for the Chiefs when she was just 17 years old. I think she was like one of the youngest. And she didn't really have interest in being a cheerleader. She wanted to be on the field. She wanted to have front row seats to see her team. And so, you know, I grew up in a sports heavy household. And I was always very athletic, but didn't really take any interest in playing any sports. Music was always being played around the house, but I had, you know, very athletic family, and I found my passion in movement. So hearing music and finding this escape through moving my body and expressing myself in that way really helped me in terms of just the situations that I grew up in. You know, we were always in just unstable settings, you know, not having a roof over our head, sleeping on other people's couches. living in motels. My mom married 4 times before we would settle in San Pedro, California, where I started to attend the Boys and Girls Club. And that's where I found ballet. There was a free ballet class that was being offered on the basketball court in the gym. And so I took my first ballet class at 13 years old, and was told immediately that I was a prodigy.
And so how does that, like, okay, because what does that look like for ballet? Because I figured on the court, when we see the throwback videos of like Steph Curry when his dad was playing, he's making all these shots, and I'm like, oh gosh, he was good even then. So what does that look like for you then? Like, what does a prodigy in ballet look like as soon as you hit it?
So, what my teacher was saying to me was that she'd never seen anyone that was physically so capable of, I could mimic whatever it was I was seeing. I could hold my leg up to my ear. I had the coordination and the musicality. All of these things were connecting. I could retain and hold on to the information that I was getting. And it was like learning a new language, literally learning a new language. I was on point within 3 months, which usually takes like 10 years. Before you have the training and the technique to be able to carry yourself and support yourself to stand on your toes.
And so does that have to do with athleticism? I'm asking questions because honestly, I don't know enough about ballet. Like, I feel like whoever's listening might not know either. So I'm just going to be asking you. It probably might seem basic, but it's like,
no.
So when you say stand on you mean stand straight up on your toe, you was doing that in how long?
In 3 months.
Come on, Misty, like what?
Yeah, no, these aren't ignorant questions. I think that, something I want to do is make ballet more, more accessible and something that is normal and natural within our like American society, so that it is something that people know about, like they do basketball and like they do football, and that you can go to a public school and have ballet offered to you. Like those are my dreams and my goals, and through my foundation and other things I'm doing. But I think it's very similar to thinking of any professional athlete. Someone can be naturally coordinated, someone can be natural in all these ways, but it takes time. It takes time to build up the stamina, to build up the muscle strength. And I did have a lot of that naturally. I don't know why or how, but I only trained.
Blood, your genes. You
It was in my genes. I know. Yeah, my dad played basketball as well. But so there's a lot of athletes in my family. But I trained in ballet for 4 years. Before I would go professional. So at 17, I moved to New York City and was accepted into American Ballet Theatre.
Like, I feel like I just have to, like every time you say stuff like this, we have to just give a little snap, because it's like, so I know my life growing up was like, when you're on the pathway to, you went pro 17, but for us, it looks like I wanted to go big D1. So what is your non-sports life even look like? Cause for cause like, do you guys, like, what's y'all's non-sports life like? Because we had one, but didn't really have one.
Yeah.
It wasn't your turn. So I'm just curious.
No, I think it's the same. I think it's similar. You commit, it's a short career. It's a short career. It's a young man's game, a young woman's game. And, you commit so much of your time to it, or in the studio, 5-6 days a week, up to 8 hours a day rehearsing. And that's just when we're in rehearsal season. And when we're in performance season, you can be in the theater. Yeah, 8 hours a day. So it's brutal. And there's not really ever a moment that you can take off. I would say maybe at the most you would take a week off, because your muscles forget so quickly. You lose the smallest little bits of muscles and strength. And it takes a lot to perform in a 3-act ballet that can be 3 to 4 hours long. There's just so much that goes into it. So there's not a lot of downtime. I've been going nonstop for over 20 years with American Ballet Theatre. And I'd say not until the pandemic hit that I really experienced what it is to be like a normal human being.
And what did you do in that time? Like, how did you even function, Misty?
I feel like it all kind of happened at the perfect time. It was like this perfect storm where I was already starting to kind of wind down in terms of feeling like I have done so much and I am exhausted.
Yeah.
mentally, physically, emotionally. I've been dancing on in I guess it's no longer an injury, but I had surgery on my leg about 10 years ago, where I had 6 stress fractures in my tibia and I had a plate screwed in.
What?
And though it took care of the problem, meaning I could continue to jump and I wouldn't be injuring it any further, but the pain is excruciating. So for the last 10 years, I've been pushing through. I wouldn't even jump until I would go on stage, which is like crazy, because that's how you build strength. You have to do what you're going to do in performance.
So
And
this is called
so
load management. So this is so crazy, because anybody that's in the basketball world, you had to do load management, which meant in practice you pretty much couldn't
Mhm,
go full in practice. You could only go into games.
exactly.
I'm just sports
Yeah,
swag.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Thanks. No, for
wow.
real.
Okay, that's
So
crazy.
and that is exhausting to go for that long, where you're just trying to like manage the pain, but there's so much pressure and expectation. And it got to that point right before the pandemic where I was just like, I am exhausted and I don't want to go on stage and not be passionate about what I'm doing and be doing it for the wrong reasons and not because I want to be out there. I never wanted to do it. Not that we get paid anything compared to what professional athletes get paid, but I didn't want to be out there doing it because it was a job and to make money. And so I feel like the pandemic came at the right time. And I know it was such a terrible time for so many people, especially artists. But, I feel like it gave me a moment to step back and focus on things that to me are equally, if not more important than my performance career, and that are, contributing to the ballet community and to moving the art form forward and to bringing more diversity to it in ways that I just didn't have the time to do before. And so I feel like I'm still on that journey. And I had a baby in that time.
Okay. Put a baby on in there. Okay.
I'm like, oh, right, I had a baby.
That part too.
But
What
no, it's been really fulfilling to be able to take what I do on stage and kind of share with a broader audience what it is to be a part of this field and the benefits of exposing young people and people in general to this art form.
No, it's amazing because it's an education process, even right now for
Mm-hmm.
me. And you mentioned, like, even though we don't make a lot, and so again, we're women's sports, so we understand that. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
curious, like, is there a difference? Is there a large difference in male ballet dancers' salaries as opposed to women ballet dancers? And what is that like? What is that, or is it just no one really makes a lot of money in the field? Because it's so crazy because you talk about the hours you put in, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
y'all are in there, like, you know what I mean? Like the same, we say it kind of same on women's sports. We all are putting in our 10,000 hours. And it's crazy
Mm-hmm.
because I'm just curious what it looks like on your side financially.
I'd say it's pretty equal in terms of men and women, but it's just the field. It's so interesting because so much money is put into it. Into the institutions, into the theaters, into it's a wealthy culture, but the people on the stage making the art don't make the money. But I would say, this is it's fascinating because women are kind of at the helm of ballet, and that's very unusual for a sport. That women are not the ones that are often put up on that pedestal. And in ballet, they are the ballet. The woman is. The man is there to support her and literally stand behind her and support her. So I would say that it's pretty equal in terms of like pay.
But isn't well, then wouldn't that be weird then if it is equal?
It shouldn't be, right?
I'm trying
It
to
should
figure
not
out.
be.
Wait a minute, I heard a little something there. I'm like,
It
wait.
should not be, but yes, it is. I would say it is. I mean, it's different too. Like once you reach the point of principal dancer, then you can negotiate your contract. And I think it really depends on like how big of a star you are, what what kind of ticket sales you're bringing in, stuff like that. But across the board, if you're like in the ranks, like the corps de ballet, which is the bottom rank, and then the soloists, it's a pretty set pay standard that doesn't really fluctuate.
Interesting. Okay, so that's cool. So I also, so there's so many things I want to ask you about. So I'm going to jump to one of the people that you called your, like mentorship that basically changed your trajectory. It's Raven Wilkinson. And
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like you talked about like how she's grateful. You mentioned it in your book. about, your book, by the way, is The Wind at My Back. So if you guys haven't, check her book out, please. Like, I just like, this woman has a wealth of knowledge, as you guys can see just sitting here. But can you just talk about that mentorship?
Yeah, I mean, that's been such a big part of my journey, that I wouldn't be in this position if I didn't have incredible support, and specifically from Black women. Stepping into this world, I was the only Black woman at American Ballet Theatre for the first decade of my career. And I was so fortunate to have so many Black women who were not even in the field, that were first in whatever it was that they did, and reached out to me. And they were like, you may be literally the only person in the room that looks like you, but you're not alone. And we are here with you. And I've had so many of those women that I've been able to turn to when things were just overwhelmingly difficult. But Raven, I learned about her not in a history book, because our history is not written and documented as Black dancers, as Black women, as Black ballet dancers in these ballet history books. I found out about her randomly watching this documentary on this old ballet company called the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo. They were like the ballet company that brought ballet from Europe to America and really influenced all of the big American ballet companies we have today. And I'm watching this long documentary, and towards maybe like an hour and a half in, this old Black lady comes on the screen and starts talking about how she was the first and only Black woman to dance in this company in the 1950s, and all of the craziness she experienced. I mean, the company would tour through the South, and she was dealing with, segregation and Jim Crow and the KKK literally stopping the tour buses and searching for her, because they learned there was a Negro, performing in this troupe. They would come onto the stage during dress rehearsals, threatening her life. And I was just floored. I was like, how don't I know this history? And why don't I know this history? And so I just became obsessed with Raven. And, you couldn't really Google people at that time. So I was like, how am I going to find out more about her? My manager ended up looking her up in, like, I don't know, the yellow pages or the white pages. I don't know which one is for, like a personal.
I don't know.
I don't know which one it is.
The phone book.
Yes. And found out that she lived a block away from me on the Upper West Side of New York City.
You are lying.
Yeah, it was crazy. And, called her. And the first time that we met was at the Studio Museum in Harlem. We did a conversation. It was about 2 generations of Black ballerinas. And we became like inseparable ever since then. And just having someone, her stories and the history and the knowledge and her passion was what, just like changed my life, my career, my perspective on everything. But just seeing someone who looked like me, like being in the same room with her, knowing that she walked in a similar path, just gave me so much more confidence in what it was I was doing. But she just made me see that, like, this is so much bigger than me. Like, everything I'm doing, like, I'm doing this for her. She never got an opportunity to go to reach these heights that I'm at because she's a Black woman and dancing in that time. And it just changed. It changed everything for me, like meeting her and having that relationship.
And that's so beautiful, because it's, first of all, for you to even be able to get the firsthand account, like, no amount of Google, no amount of documentary,
right,
would have been able to let you
get
that firsthand account. And also, how like sometimes when you're like, I'm tired, boss. Well, when you start to hear stories about, like, dang, like even me for Hoopers before, it's like what they had to do to play.
Yeah.
There was not even a WNBA, so they was playing overseas, and it's like,
right.
So then I'm not tired anymore. I'm like,
exactly.
all right, let me just do my thing. So
exactly.
It's like, it's just crazy when, first of all, when I love talking to other athletes, because parallel worlds collide when I'm talking to you. It's like, I've lived your experience, even though it's different sports. But I'm curious about The Wind at My Back. Like, the title's dope.
Yeah.
But what is it a lot about that kind of situation? What's the book about?
Yeah. So this is my 8th book that I've written. And so I guess I don't know. So my first book is my memoir. It's called Life in Motion. And this, I guess you could consider this a second memoir, like 10 years later. So it kind of picks up where my memoir left off. So it kind of goes into my journey becoming a principal dancer, and kind of paralleled with Raven's journey as she's starting out and her career, and then how our worlds kind of collided and came together, and how she was literally there with me, guiding me, the years into becoming a principal dancer, and how she had so much impact. The importance of mentorship and having someone who's there by your side. And she used to call me before every performance. We'd either talk or she would leave a voicemail, and she would always say, when you're up there on that stage, just know that I'm with you. Let me be the wind at your back. So she would literally say that to me before every performance. And so that phrase just means so much to me. So that became the title of the book.
Wow, that so are you a writer? Because you have a short film coming next.
Yeah.
Flower film. So now you said 8 books. I know you got a short film coming now. So there's a second career here developing.
There's a lot that, again, it's because of the arts, because of ballet, that I feel like I can express myself in many different ways, but I have the discipline, I have the passion, the persistence. But I've been writing and journaling since I was 7 years old. And I've kept every single one of those journals, which is helpful when I do write certain books to be able to look back on those things. But it's a way of expression. It's artistic, it's a release, it's creative. But yeah, with everything I'm doing, it's because of ballet. I've got myself in my hands in a lot of different pots, but it's all connected to the same purpose and mission. With the production company, Life in Motion Productions, we're working on a ton of content that's really about, like I was saying earlier, creating content and access, but how do we normalize the arts experience in American society? Because ballet is seen as so niche, it's seen as something that's not connected, especially to Black and Brown communities. But how do we take this tool, and it's a storytelling tool, this technique of ballet, but we can still tell stories that reflect us in our communities, which is what we've done with the short film Flower. It's set in Oakland, California. It's taking these social issues the community is dealing with, gentrification, the housing crisis, homelessness, and using street dancers and ballet and contemporary dance. And it's a 28-minute film that uses this dance and movement technique to tell a story that's very relevant, not just to the community of Oakland, but to so many communities in America.
Wow, that's dope. I love how, you're taking your expertise and you're just dispersing it out in other fields. I love it. I see you. I love it. And you also you did a petition for the emojis, right? So because when you said, you reminded me, because you said it's niche, and to that point, in other emojis we get an array of different things. So can you just talk about your petition that you wanted to have for the emojis?
Yeah, you can go to change.org and see this petition to have Apple make more color options for the point shoe emoji. And to me, I've gotten so many different comments about this, and it's bigger than an emoji. It's bigger than ballet. It's about inclusion. It's about seeing yourself represented. Young people live on social media. Emojis represent them and their voice and what they're feeling, and it's just going deeper into this culture of ballet. And that's something, as that so many people don't think about, something as simple as the pink point shoes, the pink ballet slippers, and the pink tights. Those represent the color of your skin. And if that doesn't say you shouldn't be a part of this, we don't accept you, then I don't know what does. So, that's something the ballet world has been working to change for a very long time. And over the last couple of years, there have been some changes in terms of having more options available to dancers, so that they can have a continuous line, which is the point of wearing those point shoes and pink tights, is to create a through line from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And for Black and Brown people, it's it stops at your at your waist when you got pink tights on and pink shoes on. So, it's deeper than an emoji, but it's about inclusion, and it's about, representation, and seeing yourself in spaces that are especially white.
That's exactly why education matters. Misty Copeland,
Mm-hmm.
man, thank you for joining us here on Montgomery and
Thank
Co.
you.
I
You know what? I got to get you some gear. I didn't talk about it. I got to send you some Greatness Wins gear. That's
please
the
do.
new line that I have out, Greatness Wins, that Derek Jeter and I came together and created this athletic wear brand.
Yes.
And I just launched the women's line about a month ago. So check it out, greatnesswins.com.
Oh,
I gotta get you over some stuff.
There's nothing athletes love more than merch. So send me my merch. And also, look, a book. Like, I need to buy a book so you can sign it. I'm just saying, like, I'm a fan, because anytime you're the first in something, we know that, like, there's a reason that it hasn't been done before. Was extremely difficult. And so you're the first in a lot of different things. So I'm just trying to give you flowers, show you love. Congratulations on all your 5011 books. Your Life in Motions Productions is about to blow up. I just feel like a lot of things are going to happen, because it's people like to be educated and entertained, and it seems like that's what you're trying to do. So
thank you so much.
So thank you for joining us here on Montgomery and Co. Misty.
It's an honor to meet you. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so coming up next, we're going to get right into it. We're going to talk Thanksgiving. Is it canceled or not? I just need to know. We're going to discuss with the crew next. All right. MoCo Newsroom back at it for Thanksgiving edition. And you know what? Because we got a lot of questions when it comes to Thanksgiving. So we're just going to tackle them. Thanksgiving, what did you call Thanksgiving, Roy? What was that?
It is the middle child. Nobody notices anymore.
That's exactly middle child. That's exactly where I'm going to start, because Thanksgiving is pretty much the middle child. And what we mean by that is, last week, y'all heard us talk about Halloween making $12 billion. It's obviously big money, the second biggest money making holiday behind Christmas. And then you have Thanksgiving sandwiched right in between these two holidays, Halloween and Christmas. And then there's Thanksgiving in the middle child. Serena said she's a middle child, but I don't want to say that and then have to say this part, though. Does Thanksgiving not really even matter anymore at this point? Is it over? Is it over for Thanksgiving? Like,
Renee, they're doing Christmas commercials before Halloween.
Yeah, that's true.
Wawa already bought their Christmas cups. There ain't no turkey cups.
No, Wawa. I bet Starbucks too. I would be shocked if Starbucks don't have some Christmas something very much so soon on the way.
Oh, they already started as soon as fall started in September.
Get that pumpkin spice, baby.
Yes.
So, okay. So here's the thing. What Thanksgiving, and Gino said Christmas decorations been sold out since. Oh, yes. So in our production meeting, Gino let us know that they went to the store and the Christmas decorations have been sold out since September.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
That's crazy.
Thanksgiving really ain't built like that. Like, nope. I'm just, and for obvious reasons, because what Thanksgiving was built on ain't built like that. And so we kind of just pretty much was like, Thanksgiving really ain't nothing. So we made it a food holiday. Now we're like, you know what? Let's just have our Friendsgiving and be thankful. We didn't change Thanksgiving into whatever we want to make it. Let's just
Thanksgiving is a lie.
Let's just give thanks on this day, because we're not going to celebrate Thanksgiving. Like, we have adjusted Thanksgiving because we don't want to be involved in what it was built on. But then it keeps on, like, is Thanksgiving even a thing other than football all day?
Football day.
Football day.
I will say that Thanksgiving is not what it used to be. And there's a couple of reasons why. And number one is because now we're awake. We know the story that we was growing up to be told. And we was wondering how they was breaking bread, the way it was breaking bread after they done all this stuff. Just figured out that was all a lie. That was a straight lie. And then the second thing is, when Black Friday became internet based, there was no reason for Thanksgiving anymore. It's like did that so they can go for Black Friday sales at night, running through the streets for TVs and video games. And now that everything is Cyber Monday and Cyber Friday and all that, there's no need for Thanksgiving. We're just gonna call it.
Speaking of that, since we're at football day is Thursday, you know, Amazon made Black Friday football day. There will be the first ever NFL game on Black Friday. It's Cole, to your point of how that holiday is really becoming a main Jane. And she's giving main player, she's giving main character, all of that. Black Friday now has an NFL game. And okay, y'all might be saying, Renee, sports doesn't run the world. Why are you always equating things to sports?
It kind of does.
Yeah. Especially football.
It does.
Especially football.
Yes, you guys, football now has a game. There are, just so people may know, I always just like to say football is usually played in the NFL on Sundays, on Mondays, and on Thursdays. That's usually the 3 days that the NFL plays. The NFL now has one lonely Friday game. And will you guess what day that is? Black Friday, you guys. I want you to say Thanksgiving is over for the kid. That's all I'm trying to say. Thanksgiving is over for you.
That's it. That's it. That's all.
It's just food that day. Like now it's going to be health and wellness day. We're going to have to, next thing you know, they're going to be trying to tell us to eat something.
Friends and family day.
Friends and family
Right.
day.
That's what I like it for. I like it for the food and the family. I find any excuse to hang out with my family. So any holiday, honestly. But yeah, poor girlfriends. Now they're going to have 2 days of football. Before we only had to deal with Thanksgiving Day. Now we got to deal with Black Friday.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Thanksgiving week. Between the NFL and college football, there's going to be football every day except for Tuesday.
That's right.
That's ridiculous.
That's true.
Yep. That's going to be everybody's travel day.
Like, so basically Thanksgiving is now football week, food and football week. That is what I will now call Thanksgiving, the food and football week, because it's like, what are we really doing with the Thanksgiving holiday anyway? It's not built on nothing, but we did love the food. So we're still going to keep that aspect of it. And we just going to now turn it to, let's watch family and football. Then we'll call it that. Family and football. So that's for everybody. Cause I know y'all always tell me all the time.
Family and football day.
Family and football day. Cause everything maybe doesn't revolve around sports, even though I feel like it. Okay. Moving on. Headline topic number 2. Bringing people home for the holidays. Let's take Thanksgiving per se. Cole, do your sons have to tell you they're bringing somebody, or can I just rock up with somebody that I was feeling that I want to
just bring anybody to my house?
Yep.
This is not
Roy
the day.
seconds that notion.
This is not the day for you just to bring anybody. You can bring anybody on a regular day. Hey, Mom, we'll stop by.
This is family
cool.
time.
But on a holiday, I don't want to be bothered with nothing crazy, nothing new. I don't know people's attitudes. They don't eat this. And then you got allergies. They can't be in a room with peanut butter. They got to have an EpiPen for this. I don't want them problems. So don't bring them problems to my house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want nobody accidentally eating something that has shellfish or something and they swell it up. Yeah. Just leave me alone. Don't bring nobody new. Nobody. No new friends. No new friends. No new friends. No.
Yeah, just like you don't just bring anybody to a funeral. You don't bring anybody to Thanksgiving.
Wow. Never heard
because you know how these fights happen at funerals.
But that makes sense.
No, you don't. Man, oh my gosh. There's so many stories of people getting into fights at funerals because they brought the wrong person.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Look, what about you? Would you be okay if we just brought some randoms to the house on the biggest holiday?
Listen, if I'm the kid, I'm going to say, listen, I've been talking to Shawty for like 3 weeks now. Y'all just don't know her. We pulling up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say no.
Yeah. No. People are crazy. No.
Oh,
well, it used to be back in the day where, you know, it was kind of a day that you did throw open your doors and you had people from maybe, you know, a few neighbors, friends, family. But things are so crazy now. You just don't want all that drama. You know,
Yeah.
you just don't want you just don't want all that drama.
Nobody bad kids.
No.
Don't bring
bad
them.
energy.
No.
Hey, yeah. Who'd you vote for? Get out of my house.
Oh, Lord. There's certain
Oh,
things
the
still now
political.
you definitely can't talk about at dinner. Babe, what about you? Can Junior's girlfriend come to Thanksgiving?
You know what? I'm trying to practice a little bit more open-mindedness because I am a helicopter mom, and usually I will be like, nah. But you know what? I'm like, I'm trying not to say never. So if he's away at college and then he's like, Mom, I'm bringing home this girl. Not to. Okay, so I have one rule. She can't sleep over. Like no sleepovers at the house. But if she comes for one day, Thanksgiving, maybe Christmas.
And then Junior leaving too. When she leave out the door, Junior walking right behind her. See y'all. Oh yes, if she can't, hey, let's just be real, mind now.
If you go, I said I'm trying to be a little more open minded.
Let's just be real. I mean, you think he's just gonna let her go to sleep somewhere by herself and be in a strange city on Thanksgiving without him? When you say,
okay, well, you better be back by midnight.
Midnight. Wow.
One of the main reasons you don't want to. I've had this happen before. Somebody comes to the door and the pots are on the stove and the food's on the table. If they don't wash their hands, they go right up there and they start picking up stuff. And I have to say, we wash our hands here. And
she'll catch you quick.
You don't go my refrigerator, you washed your hands.
You better have manners when you go to Snooks.
I don't play that. So you better know who you bring them because they could get their feelings hurt.
That's exactly right, Snooks. Go ahead, Roy.
And if you bring somebody new to the house, under no circumstances do you ever criticize the food. You better lie. Lie. Yes. If that food is bad, you better lie. Otherwise,
say yes to everything. If they offer you something, say yes.
Oh gosh, that kills me with Miss Lucy and them. That's why she's saying it. Listen,
it's a sign of disrespect if you say no.
Woo, y'all! I got married.
Family.
I got married into a Dominican family. I don't know if everybody knows what that means, but Dominicans, the way that they show love is like to feed you. Like when I go over to Miss Lucy's house, there's always there is always food at Miss Lucy's house. It's so crazy. Always. It's like you cook every day, Miss Lucy. I can't believe this. And Miss Lucy, every time I walk into the house, Renee, you hungry? Right? And I'm like, oh, and Sam, here goes Sam. Yeah, she's hungry. I mean, like, baby, we just ate. What are you talking about? Me and Junior be so mad because she'll volunteer us all as hungry. And then Miss Lucy will make our plates because, listen, I'm married into a Dominican family, so they make your plates. It is a really nice life. I will say that, you guys. Like, they make your plates. They cook for you. It's amazing. But
there's a whole debate about that online right now because they're saying that, like, now kind of like the new age women are not making their partners plates. And so you have, like, the Hispanic aunts and mothers looking at them like, you're not gonna make your partner's plate. What are you even doing?
Oh boy.
Oh, right. Look. Well, I don't know. It's not a have to, but it really is a luxury that I do have, that Miss Lucy. But to that point, there's no such thing as no. I literally, she said, do you want rice? I said, no, thank you, Miss Lucy. Like, what you mean you don't want no rice? Oh, yes, I want rice, Miss Lucy. Thank you. Like,
take these beans. Let's go.
See, that's the thing. And see, this is what I tell people. When you take people to your family's house, you're supposed to give them the whole rundown before they get through the door. When you go in the house, don't go to my mama's house and don't wash your hands because she's going to cut you right in half. Don't go here and don't do this. If you don't like it, don't put it on your plate because if she sees throw it away, she's going to have an attitude. You wasted her food. Blah, blah, blah. There's a whole
food away. That's rude.
That's why you have to flip the plate over so nobody can see what was on it, and you push it down in the tray.
I can tell what you did when you were little.
Oh no, Snooks eyed and caught how much you to put on that plate. She know what you had. If you come back to that kitchen to throw anything away, she eyeballing what is left on that plate. She know how much you threw away. If you
checking my plates,
but you know what? To Cole's point,
it's on the story.
My mom literally she stopped liking somebody just because they opened her refrigerator door. So it's like that's something that you just don't do. She's like, oh wow, they're real comfortable over there. They just open the refrigerator door. It's like,
wow, that is
Lucy cut from the same cloth. That's how we get along so well.
I mean, that is a little bit. There's certain things crazy. There is certain things that I just don't feel comfortable enough. If I'm in somebody's house for the first time, I'm not doing nothing myself. I'm tapping babe like, hey babe, can you go get me something to drink? Hey babe, can you, like, I'm not doing nothing on my own. I don't know these people.
I just started getting comfortable to making my own coffee when I go to Snook's house, and it's only because Snook makes me comfortable. She's like, yes baby, you can do it, but I have to make sure, I don't like just making myself at home. I don't like that.
So long story short, you got to be more careful. That goes for both sides of it. If you bringing somebody home, you got to tell them all the do's and don'ts of your family. You got to tell them I'm the crazy. Like, people should know, like, in my family, like, I'm going to probably be filming when you come around me. So you might want to know,
Lord.
like, I'm going to be filming.
Shay's going to be taking pictures. You're going to be filming. I'm going to open my eyes.
Boom. That's
you're supposed to give the rundown.
And people should know that we're the loud family. We are that family that we do sing-alongs. We will randomly break out into real musical sing-alongs.
And dance to
it. And then start coordinating. And then we
yes.
And then we do it together. We will have a real life musical every holiday. Somebody probably needs to be prepared for that, because if you don't know that a family will do that and they break out and do that, like Paul said, I'd go into hiding.
Look, and be ready for some good game, because we're very competitive.
Oh,
competitive.
We done told y'all about being a sports family now. Come on now. It's no joke around here. So these are just our Thanksgiving. Roy, why did Roy look? Now, Roy is on the camera typing in the chat.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk over you.
I have one question for Roy. So, Roy, do you let your wife dictate where you guys are going to spend? He just said yes. He didn't even let me finish the question. Yes, your wife.
As soon as you said dictate, I said yes.
But basically, who decides where you guys are going to spend the holidays?
Not me. Not me. No.
What, Roy is going to be married forever.
Right
now.
That's the plan. Better and worse. Better or worse.
Like
Actually, might be better and worse. You never know.
Just said Roy don't want no unnecessary stuff. Like, that's
Roy.
My
goodness.
He wants to stay on the good side and the good life and the good vibes with the good wife and the good life. I'm here.
I don't run anything in this house, Renee. I don't run anything.
Wife,
I have a daughter.
Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life.
This is so funny to me. But you guys, this is all we're saying. Thanksgiving is upon us. So if you got a boo, or you got a bae, or you thinking about having one because cuffing season is here, or if you're even just married, look, if you're just married, y'all gotta, if you're married, be ready for Thursday and Friday. Hello, we got football. I'm just letting the wives know, in case there's wives listening to this show, we got a crossover of sports fans and women's sports fans and all of that. So in case you ain't know, yes, there's games on Thursday and Friday this year. So,
I mean, some wives like football too. That's cool.
And that's why I said sports fans. If you fit in the category, look, Cole, like, if you fit in the category, you fit there. That's another thing. Like, people will take something you say and say, hey, what about the women football fans? It's like, didn't I just say sports fans? Well, y'all in there. Get in line.
All inclusive.
Like, we included everybody. That's
equal opportunity.
Equal opportunity. But the point we're making is, this Thanksgiving, you better let people know the do's and don'ts of bringing people to the cribbo, even though Thanksgiving really doesn't exist. Misty Copeland. Like, I just keep on going back to Misty Copeland because it's somebody right here, a legend living amongst us. And she's like young. So it's kind of hard for us to recognize somebody when, you know, they're younger and they've already done so much. You know how she's done so much? It's like you have to sacrifice so much to do so much. I'm just think about that. Like, you have to sacrifice so much to do so much. If you're an athlete, what does that sacrifice look like? Hours in the gym. Your personal life is probably going to suffer. Like, it's just a given. I don't know any athletes to date, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, because, you know, this is a new age, but I don't know any athletes to date that are bragging about making it because they didn't even put in the work. Like, of course you put in the work. It's a given. So if you want to be successful, at the bare minimum, you're going to have to sacrifice and put in work, because that's the only way. If y'all know another way, let me know. All right. And tell me on Twitter, tweet me. What is that? Kim Possible? Call me, beat me if you want to tweet me. I'll see y'all next week, where it's a generational thing.